So, quick guide on how to get Mk3 blueprints very easily. Don't know how long it's going to be in the game, so we'll test it out later this week. I'll be streaming on Friday around 7 p.m. UK time. My Twitch will be linked below. So if you would like either some of these blueprints or to see if the method is still working before you try it out for yourself, or just to say hi, feel free to pop in, and we'll do all of that on Friday. Hopefully it is still working by then. But the method's pretty simple. It is going to be pretty much where you'd expect to find these, which is on Bluegate in the reinforced reception breach room, but specifically on closed scrutiny. I've tried it on other game modes. It's not as effective, but obviously it's still the best place to find them. But closed scrutiny specifically, you're not likely to find many competition in there, and you also can, if you're lucky, if you spawn in halfway through a raid, you can still go down and see that it's not breached. So it just depends on the lobby you get joined into. I got really unlucky and found like everyone in the world who knew about this method, but you'll see that in the video. Excuse my bad there. So I do want to talk about something else in particular, which is a theory that I have, that the developers are giving you a head start on the new content every single time. So I'll start with the most recent one. I don't know about you guys, but I noticed that, the last week during the trials, I was finding a lot of snitch scanners out of things like arc probes and the arc couriers that you can breach. I may have made that up. Maybe a false fact, but it felt like I was getting lots of snitch scanners. And then obviously this week in the trial we have the destroy wasps, which snitch scanners are going to be very, very handy with, because you can spawn 2 in at a time and basically on a night raid sit in a corner of the map and blow them up without any sort of trouble. And there you go, you've got your however many points you need. More specifically, with bigger stuff, I've noticed the Aphelion blueprint spawned in on Stella Montis, like, everywhere. I found it 3 times in one raid, which, to my understanding, it wasn't the most common blueprint to find anywhere. It was one of the harder ones that some people had struggled with, so I think that was the developers saying, hey, the new arc's going to come out. It's going to be handy to have something that's like a legendary weapon, I don't know, something that can blow it up quite easily. Let's give people an Aphelion to do that. Personally, the Aphelion is my favorite thing to blow it up with, because it's quick, efficient, and with the amount of energy clips you'll end up using, you get them back pretty much every time. You may go 1 or 2 clips over, but I usually will leave a raid with about 4 more clips than I came in with, just because of how effective it is. And I'll make another video demonstrating my method of doing it. It's pretty effective, and I don't need any more vaporizer stuff. I've got so much, so that I can give away on the Twitch stream anyway. This first one, I let it run out just so I could talk a bit, but as you see in this first one, I get a weapon crate in this room, which means that I don't get a Mk3 blueprint. Now, I don't know if that's a fact. I've only had the weapon crate spawn once, but it would make sense that because there's a weapon crate, that the loot pool changes a little bit and you're less likely to then get a Mk3 blueprint out of these lockers. It just, it's intuitive stuff like that that you need to keep an eye out, which is what my theory is kind of going into. So this week I'm going to be looking out for new trial stuff. I'm going to be looking out like, hey, what are we getting tons of? Is the game giving us 50 trailblazers each run that we don't need right now? Because if so, I'm going to start picking them up and saving them. At the moment, I'm noticing a lot of showstoppers. So maybe the next trial is going to be, use showstoppers on Arc. Something like that. Something to that effect. Where by being a bit cognitive and noticing these things ahead of time, you have a head start in the next trial. Now, it's going to make a huge difference if you're going for, Cantina Legend. Probably not. But it's handy to know these things, especially when it comes to the big updates. Like I said, the Aphelion blueprint spawned everywhere for the big update, so it was the first legendary that I used, because developers are surely telling us that that's what we should be using on it. And look, you can use any of the legendary weapons. Hell, you can use an anvil if you really wanted to. But the Aphelion is my personal favorite. So yeah, it's just little things like that that I've noticed that I wanted to bring to anyone who's watching this video. I wanted to bring it to your attention because it may give you, you know, a head start in the next bit of content. Or even for me, what it's done is it's really made the game fun, because now it's like a bit of a cat and mouse game with the developers. You know, I'm trying to pick up on their clues, and they're trying to hide them from me. I feel like I'm doing a real good job of picking these clues up. So, you know, if you're feeling a little bit bored of Ark, maybe you need to look at it in a different perspective. It isn't a game where you shoot people and fight Ark and loot stuff. It feels more like a cat and mouse game with the developers. You know, if that helps you get back into the game, maybe it helps you get back into the game. Anyway, enough about my rogue conspiracy theory. I'll talk more about that in my Twitch stream and try and flesh it out a bit more and maybe make some actual detailed points. But as you can see here, I've already got a couple Mk3 blueprints. The last one, obviously, those guys got there first. I did confirm with them later on in that game that they did get one of them, and this guy as well. I confirmed that he gets one as well. So what's that? 6 runs? 5 runs. 5 runs. One of them no augment, but that was because of the weapon crate. Every other time there was an augment in there. So again, I don't know how long it'll last. Hopefully it lasts a long time so you guys can get it, but this is the type of stuff you need to keep an eye out for. Anyway, I will see you guys hopefully on Friday.